Tonight, in a main event that is sure to be one for the ages, a clash of styles will meet in the centre of the octagon as two of the primetime elite competitors go to battle. With a possible championship implications on the line, these two men will give it all to have their victories. Entering first, the challenger, NM Smudger, a man who has a meteoric rise in primetime that has culminated in him becoming the champion. His pressure kickboxing and his barrage of combinations overwhelm his opponent as he beats them into submission. Storm, who the fuck is that guy? I have a hatred for this bum, and after I break his jaw in half, he won't be able to talk anymore. But in order for Smudger to have his revenge, he must defeat one man, calling upon STK Storm, a ferocious grappler, one denial, and he'll either choke you into unconsciousness or he'll take a limb home with him. His overwhelming dominance on the ground and his Charles Oliveira-esque game make him a force to be reckoned with. I'm not going to lie, I want to break his arm. I have no respect for MM. What better way to make my case for the championship than to break a former champion's arm? That bitch is mine. But with all that being said, strap in and get ready for a wild night of fights that culminate in a featherweight bout not to be missed. Welcome to Primetime.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Primetime MMA. I am in the booth tonight with the one and only Doctor and KM Caliber. And lads, Jesus Christ, what a stacked card from top to bottom we have. And Caliber, I'm going to throw it to you, mate. Tell me what fight you're most looking forward to tonight.
I'm gonna look at the main card. I'm gonna look at Brady and Oni J. I know those two, they're very confident coming in, and they're both very well rounded. So I'm interested to see who's gonna really take the lead in striking, who's gonna take the lead to the ground. What about you, Doc?
Well, you got the main event of Smudger versus Storm, introduced by me and written by the brilliant Reaper in the commentary booth so far. That's going to be a fight, interestingly. Smudger's a former champion. He's got fantastic striking. He has been seen, if I remember correctly, suffered grappling, so it's going to be interesting to see how Storm does that. On that, about Brady, if I'm not mistaken, he's no longer SMB. He is now Federal Dentist, a camp recently set up by Optics, interesting enough, because he's left FSK. Moving on to the co-main event, we do have a slight difference. BFAP Jakey will no longer be competing. Instead, it will be LW Mist. Mist and Clover have been former campmates in ICB, so now they're fighting further down the line, so they'll be a bit different. You'll notice that Reaper was booked to fight on this card. However, instead of that, we'll be having K.I. McGrath versus Cole. Reaper.
It is indeed, Doc. Unfortunately, I was booked for this card to face off against Go, but, you know, Go had to go to the doctors and find out that he had a coward's mentality. You know, he called me out in 3 different leagues and told me how great it was going to be to get to beat me up finally, and then, you know, he must have seen one of my YouTube videos and decided, oh Jesus, I don't want to become a highlight reel. So that's down to him. But in terms of my favourite fight tonight, I'm definitely looking at that Smudger and Storm fight. That's a mix of styles. That's a technical grappler versus striker matchup there, Caliber, and that is going to go 50-50 in my book, Caliber.
Agreed. Both those guys are gonna look to move forward. Smudger might look for a takedown, but we'll see. I think we're ready for the first fight, though.
Yeah, though the first fight is two of your campmates, KM Darkside versus KM Skitch. Both of these guys are strikers. I'm judging by the picks I'm looking at in the lightweight division, this is bound to be an interesting fight.
Oh yeah, let's get a little bit of Mark Jacasey in here. How long has it been since we've seen him, Doc? I don't even think he's actually made his primetime debut in quite a while.
I want to say Mr. Chinsworth has used him. Jacasey's always been a lover of Chinsworth. Chinsworth has always loved it, but this is probably one of the most significant times, especially in the mighty hands of the Frenchman Skitch. Moricano, though, Caliber, that's going to be an interesting pick. We've seen Crooks use him in the esports scene, so now Moricano being used over here, it's going to be should be a fun time.
Yeah, Moicano is kind of a sneaky pick. He has a 4 or 5 star jab and a 4 star leg kick. So we'll see if the Dark Side can implement that versus Skeech. I know Skeech is going to be high pace, going to use the KC's wild kicks. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you have to look at the picks and the style of play here, right? You've got Skitch, a very, very technical kickboxer. And then you've got your other campmate there, Dark Shield. He's gone with a jiu-jitsu fighter. So a two clash of styles here, Doc. One man who likes to hang back and use his technical kickboxing, the other a ferocious grappler. And with some cheeky submissions there too, being a Brazilian, Doc.
Yeah, indeed. He's also got rubber guard, so it is viable there. But if you're a campmates, you can imagine they're going to try to keep it on the feet. Both staying steady. Skitch already working that body very nicely, digging down at top. You can already see that stamina doing some, but the body kicks and the general striking ability is Dark Side, a former Fight Night champion player, if I'm not mistaken, Caliber, and his boxing is looking clean already.
Well, he's doing a great job versus Skeech. Oh my, capoeira kick to the head off the 2-3, but he's doing a great job crowding Skeech, not letting him get to those kicks. But he's got to watch these body shots coming back from Skeech as well, Reaper.
Yeah, he does indeed. You know, Skitch is one of those guys that will hang back on the outside and pick you apart. And Caliber, you are right. He's doing a great job of moving forward. But I'm noticing sometimes when he's just moving forward, he's holding high block and he's letting Skitch get off some shots here, Doc.
Yeah, well, Skitch seems to be on to peppering everywhere. He's moving his block from high to low. He's now getting pressured by Dark Side, engaging more in the boxing because he knows for a fact the kicking game of Skitch is something to be wary of. Just note about Skitch's last fight, since I've just remembered it. He fought Keza. He was succeeding, but he jumped in the guard with his opponent and then got himself gillied. So if he does get a drop later on down the line, he should be wary of getting gillied. As you can see now, a head kick to the top. The body's done another head kick, but that gasses him out. Now, but coming back with the body shot there, Caliber, you got to imagine that. I don't even know at this point. Jesus, Skitch.
Darkside's he's got to survive this early storm to KC. I don't think he has out the gates, but he's wild, very interesting shot selection. The lead front kick, the jumping switch kick. It's only something Skeech would throw. So Darkside's, got him on the cage. I'd love to see a takedown here near the cage, but they're probably going to keep it on the feet here, Reaper.
Yeah, Caliber, you're dead right there. You were calling for a takedown, and you know what? That could definitely be on the game plan. But lads, Doc, let me throw it to you real quick. Is Skitch one of the most underrated players in the community today? Because the combinations this man has thrown out with virtually a cage behind him, and he's still throwing out this flashy kick.
I wouldn't say underrated in terms of an artillery compared to some sense. In terms of maybe publicity, he's probably one of the more hidden fighters around the place, but you'll look in this and he's just having massive success there. His combinations, while he knows his distance plan, tried to duck under that kick, but the game decided that he doesn't have the block advantage. Now 30 seconds left. I feel like a lot of this damage could have been avoided if Darkside just backed off a bit, kept that distance, used the jabber in this excessive motion, because that body work has just worked fantastically in the favor of Skitch here, Cal.
Yeah, Darkside really didn't do much that round. I hate putting it that way, but that's just bluntly. Didn't really land much. Skeech just kind of, even though his back was against Cage Reaper, Skeech kind of got to throw whenever he wants. So Darkside's going to need to adjust here in round 2.
He did. He really did. He's doing well with the pressure, but in terms of when you're pressuring, when you back someone up against the cage and you choose a jiu-jitsu fighter, the main goal is to take them down. As you said yourself there, Caliber, they are teammates, but at the end of the day, a fight's a fight, Caliber, and you have to just do what you have to do in there.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna have to watch that body uppercut is really what did it there last round. So if he can kind of circle him against the cage and just give Skitch something to look at, throw the little jab, and oh wow, beautiful combination there. But Doc, yeah, he just needs to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, he does need to slow it down a bit. His health stats are massively in the red here. The leg kicks now can't come out. Look like Skitch just wants to play with his food, even though maybe campmates comes up with a jab and then the lead body hook. Such a quick combination going there, and a head kick follows suit. Another crazy kick, catches body kick in retaliation, now puts him onto the floor. I'm
just looking right here, right, and I'm looking at Skitch's health. He looks literally untouched, Caliber. Like, it looks like he has not even been touched this entire fight. Meanwhile, his campmate is being absolutely brutalized here in the feet. You have to think, Caliber, come on. These are two of your campmates. If you were in the corner right now, you have to be screaming for a takedown.
He's just not. Skeech is so elusive. That's the first word that comes to mind watching him work. He gets in the pocket, throws, just weird thing. There's the takedowns.
He denies it, digs down to the body, gets just straight followed suit. Front kick there on the jab, but it seems like the jabs and just the general ability. Now he does get a takedown. Both of them are half stamina. He's worked quite a lot of the body, but he's also gassed himself out in the process. Does get into half guard now. This is still a dangerous position to be. You got top man, you got side control, already working to route punches. GA gets a lovely deny there. Mark Casey, he probably wants to go to full guard and then work himself up there. He does get the full guard here. Reaper, you got to imagine Morikano's just going to keep looking to slice back into half guard here, though.
He is, Doc. Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head there. And, you know, the great thing for Moicano here is he's actually ahead in the stamina game. You know, damage means nothing if you're on your back. So if he can deny one or two transitions, he could maybe lock up an armbar, a triangle choke from mount, really whatever he wants. Because he looks quite solid on the ground here right now. And, you know, he's done the right thing.
An arm triangle attempt here, low stamina on both sides. Seems like Morikano's just slightly ahead in the stamina game. Is doing fairly well. It's not about the pattern, it's more about the speed in a lot of cases, but so far the blue is looking to get ahead. If he does get this, it's going to end up going to the full guard. Now he's in full guard, but he won't be able to get the side control position, you've got to imagine. And we're back into full guard here, Cal.
I like that attempt in the round. There's not really much to lose, and if he gets maybe, I don't know if Moicano has the triangle from side control, but maybe if he gets it there in round 3. I do love the takedown attempt. I hope he goes back to it in round 3, Reaper.
Yeah, me too. You know, your takedown set up your striking, and as we've seen there, he can take him down. Now, albeit it took 2 attempts, but he got him down and looked, to me, Doc, at least on the ground, that he had some very, very solid denials. Also so did Skitch, but if I'm using a jiu-jitsu fighter, it's always going to favour me on the ground, Doc.
Yeah, I would agree. If you're using jiu-jitsu fighting a strike on the ground, the jiu-jitsu is arguably going to win. Just offers the more subs. They've got to be a bit more wary of it. And Bertie's triangle from side control is a possibility if he gets it. But with a denial like that, it's going to be very hard to take. Working that head now, that body also got a bit damaged there. Goes for a couple body kicks. Kicking in boxing range. Does get the block though, and the uppercut, and that block is low. Morikano knows it, and it's starting to put on this pressure a bit more here, Cal.
Yeah, Skeech is just, he's keeping his pace, and like Reaper mentioned earlier, it doesn't look like he's been hit much, and that's because his defense is doing so well that even when he is low stamina, Darkseid can just not find him. Darkseid's got to look for a finish here late, but I don't know if...
Oh!
There's a...
there you go.
For him.
That's a stun you need, but... Carry on, Reaper. Uh-oh.
No, excuse me. Here we go.
Well, as us two were a bit uncertain, these two now started getting a very close finishing point. Morikano just staying in the fight. He came back with a stun of his own, but then Skitch decided, you want to stun me, I'm going to stun you back, and worked that body to Kingdom Come. It now constantly blinking here, Reaper.
Absolutely. Skitch said, that tit'll do it again. Wait, here comes my drop. And you know, Caliber, I have to kind of give props to you here as well, because Skitch is fighting like you. He fights the way you fight. You hang back, you pick off your... Oh, beautiful, stunning. You know, he fights like Caliber. He just hangs back, picks his opponent apart, and it's so methodical and so technical, and it's a pleasure to watch, Doc.
Well, if Dirty Dave's listening, maybe he needs to take note for tomorrow's main event of Dirty Dave versus Caliber as we move back into this fight. Both of these guys going out at a couple of knees, coming out looking to work that body. Skitch is playing for a fancy finish that may risk him losing it, but a takedown by Morikano, maybe it's not the right idea. You've got a minute 40 left on the clock. You've only got maybe one sub attempt if you want it, but you're probably not going to get a finish with this low stam, even if you get top mount here, Caliber.
Oh, that's a big deny. He might go for, he's going to slice to mount most likely. Nope, went for the arm triangle. But yeah, Skeech just works so well.
This could be risky.
There's the full guard, but he's got to watch the sub.
Yeah, if I was Darkseid, I would have pulled some type of sub. You got to admit now, Morikano is on bottom. Could risk the submission since he's juicy, but instead, Mark Casey gets up here, Caliber.
Yeah, Skeech has just done perfectly in this fight. His stamina is just from all these wild combinations he's throwing, but they are landing, and he's been efficient this fight here, Reaper.
He really has, Skitch has come into this fight dialed in. You have to imagine if it wasn't a campmate, would he have still implemented this style and not have gone for the kill as much? Because as you guys seen there, he might have let him off a few times with some very awkward, I will say, techniques in terms of kicks.
That was a lovely boxing combo at the end.
It really was, wasn't it? He pulled it out a little bit too late, but it was a beautiful combo. But that's a fight between campmates I think they should both be very happy with. It was very entertaining to watch for the first fight of the episode, Doc, and I think they started off the night on a great pace.
Yeah, it did start the going on a great pace. Skitch came out, looked really dominant, but at the same time, Darkseid had bits and pieces, as you saw him by the Empire, and a fantastic little boxing combo here, and here we get to see the decision.
30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Mark.
30-27. Fantastic job all around by both KM members. Congratulations, condolences to Darkseid, but nonetheless a fantastic performance on both cases.
It really was, Darkseid really showed in that fight at least that he was game with the stand-up. He showed no fear. He pushed forward. He got the takedowns when he needed them. He had a very, very good submission attempt, albeit it was probably just to read the pattern caliber. But he did show there in that fight that against a top-level competitor like Skitch, he hung in there for 3 rounds.
Yeah, he showed his survivability there. I mean, being game is one of the most important bits when it comes to fighting literally anyone. And yes, Skitch showed off those kicking techniques like he always does. I've never seen a straight hook capoeira kick. I didn't even know that was in the game. So it's always lovely to see both of them work.
Yeah, Skitch seems to put out some mental combos. But with that, we move on to our next fight. This time we're going to be on the PlayStation division. Sullington versus Leon 27. This will be in the featherweight. This will be in the featherweight division, and by the looks of it, we're going to have a Poirier versus McGregor matchup.
Okay, so we didn't get a McGregor ban? I'm
Evidently
very
not.
shocked by that caliber. I'm shocked.
Yeah, that one's a bit confusing, but do not sleep on Dustin in this weight class. Just like his lightweight version, he holds that power. His grappling's a little less, and of course the chin and cardio is, but he can still hurt Connor in the feet. So I'm very interested to see how he'll use Dustin here, Doc.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. I'm going to assume a more grappling-based approach with Poirier. However, if you're going to use grappling, there's other picks, to be honest, and I don't know if that's maybe the right call. You do have the issue of the prelims being 4 stars here, so you got to imagine if you're either one of these guys, that's going to put a bit more question into your picks. However, Zabit's a very good wrestling pick if you're looking for that, though. Reaper.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to go for a wrestling base against McGregor in featherweight and you're stuck on your 4 stars, Zabit has got to be maybe the number one choice you can come up with the Zabit trip, with how technical he is on the ground caliber. I'm very surprised to see a Dustin pick here, but now we might all eat our words, and Solington might just come out and whoop this McGregor caliber.
Yeah, so there's the takedown early. So I love this game plan. I use it versus Dustin, versus Connor at lightweight as well. If you can get Connor down early, whittle down the stamina and the head health, he's going to stand up here. So interesting look there. But Dustin's no slouch on the feet in featherweight, and right now he's showing off why, Doc.
I'm already starting to see one of the biggest issues by Poirier is he doesn't want to seem to plant his feet. Every time he's engaging, he's moving, he's circling, which I mean is effective. But when you're trying to beat the power of McGregor, to some extent, maybe just planting your feet and engaging that won't work. However, another takedown does get shot. The red bar is creeping up massively. You got to imagine Leon is pre-designed to keep his heart out here, Reaper.
Yeah, if you're going to be using Dustin Poirier at featherweight against the McGregor featherweight, Connor has that power. And Dustin, as Caliber said, is no slouch at featherweight. Obviously, he has a preferred counterpart at the lightweight, as McGregor does. Good to go back up to the feet there, and then we swap corners. It's one of those things that it's difficult because, Doc, as you said, if you're using a power fighter, you want to just plant and rip. And if McGregor's just pushing forward like this and he's only holding high block, maybe start hitting the body caliber.
One thing I've noticed, Solington looks a bit, not panicked. Panic's the wrong word. Just a bit rushed when he's on the back
Nervous.
foot right here. He's throwing long combinations. He's getting tagged a lot. So right now, if I'm him, just slow it down. It's only the first round. Your stamina's fine. Head health's fine. There's another takedown. That time a double leg dock. And right now, Solington looks very good on the ground. Just a bit not polished on the feet.
Yeah, it seems like it's ruled by nervousness. I think these are both these debut sites, and so it's going to be one of their first times competing in leagues in general, and so you got to imagine competing in one of the top leagues around, especially like Prime Time, and you're making your debut here, you're going to be a bit scared, especially in front of all these people, and I think that's what Poirier is dealing with, just the nerves, the scariness of it all, and McGregor's capitalising on this here.
He really is. And as you said there, Doc, you're making a debut in a league like Primetime. You're a second fight on the card, and you're using probably two of the most explosive men in the UFC in the lighter weight division. You're looking to have a performance and a show here, but the way Solington is fighting, when he's trapped up against the cage, he's throwing kicks inside the pocket, and it's not just kicks, it's rear body kicks, so it's using more stamina. And Leon here looks to be a little bit more polished caliber on the feet than Solington does, but as he shoots for another takedown, it's not going well. I can see the fight turning in his favour.
Leon looks like he's mastered one of the most important bits in this game. It's not just pressure, but the pressure against the cage, trapping your opponent, and then landing big shots. And right now, here late in round one, he's doing exactly that. And Solington just has no answer on the feet. There's another double he's going to get against the cage, Connor, with a big deny. And Doc, you need a major adjustment from the Dustin corner in round two.
If I'm Poirier, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to establish that jab, plant, and then look for a takedown. Turn takedowns have worked. You've got a couple. He's read the first three. Now he's looking to pre-deny on the turn. So what you do is you allow it to extend a bit, and then you turn it, mix it up, make it difficult. The main core here is don't get your back against the cage, because if you're Poirier and you're against the cage with someone like McGregor, we've seen what happened. His head health is shot, and that is why.
And as well, lads, we have to give recognition to it. This is an orthodox Conor McGregor. This isn't even a southpaw Conor McGregor. So he's actually using his rear hand, which is the right, and he's really still piecing him up. He's very comfortable in the orthodox position here as Leon Caliber.
He looks comfortable, not just in any position he's been in. He's got the takedown. Solington's got the takedown, but Leon's been right back to his feet like a spring. And right now, yeah, there's the taunt.
There's a taunt, but there's a takedown, and now Solington needs to calm down. Just stay patient, build this GA. You understand it. You're evidently looking for the takedowns, but there you go, and McGregor's back on feet. The head moved to the side, the overhand whipped him wildly. A single leg there, goes straight down. That's going to infuriate Leon, because he knows the fact he wants it on the feet. He just wants to get this fight over and done with, but instead, Solington's progressing it on further now. It's the side control, top mount being idea. He is going to go to sprawl here, and a simple upwards motion will get them against the cage here, Reaper.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I want to see what a Leon takedown looks like, because Leon, every time he's been taken down, has built his GA, he's reversed the position and got back to his feet. Now, we know he's very, very comfortable on the feet, right? Well,
his takedown is a left hand, it seems. And another one lands a taunt there, straight overwards. I do agree, a takedown by McGregor would be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be a takedown in the normal sense. It's going to be a left hand with follow-up shots suited straight afterwards. Or an elbow in that case.
What a bait. That was a beautiful bait, Caliber.
There it is. That's it. And Leon just looked, perfect. That's how I would describe that performance. He went out, pressured him, got up against the cage, and landed the left and the right. His lead hand was beautiful in that second round, Doc, there, and he just looked perfect.
Yeah, he looked really good. The first round, he seemed a bit shaky at the start. You had Poirier throwing those takedowns, landing them consistently. But as soon as McGregor got him against that cage, McGregor just came forward and forward and forward. And then that last plate baited the uppercut, elbow over the top, slipped down, and a couple of shots to finish was all she wrote.
Yeah, Sol started off quite well there in that fight. He was getting some good body combinations off. And then the second Leon read it, he was like, okay, I'm going to press you, put you against the fence, and just take you into my world. And that's exactly what he did, Caliber. A very, very good performance and a very big welcome to Primetime for Leon.
Yeah, beautifully done. Fight 3 here. I think we have a replacement for Aleppo. I think that's LW Ernesto. So I'm very
Indeed.
interested.
Instead of Karen Till, Jake Paul, take your pick on the name. The guy changes his name like he changes clothes. We will have LW Ernesto versus ICB Lepo. ICB recently making its comeback in this community. Interestingly enough, ICB has got a soft place in my heart. I was from ex-ICB. I think so was Caliber, in fact. So is that to be known. Should be noted that the next two fights are also people who are having their birthday. So shout out to Lepo, and also the late replacement of Kaylee McGrath in the next fight. Hopefully these two are sorted with their lobby.
Doc, Caliber, I'm going to ask you both this question, Caliber. I'm going to throw it to you first. Obviously, as Doc said, you were a former ICB camp mate. Does this warm both of your hearts to see this brought back? Because it was apparently, from what I've heard about ICB, back in the day, it was quite a good camp.
It's good to bring it back. I don't know. I hold no emotion to it. I have my guys that I trained with. But I'm very interested to see how they mesh well. I've heard some good things, heard some bad things, so we'll see how it works out.
Well, I've always held the controversial opinion that KM was reformed ICB, to be honest. It was because of a lot of the members were it. Hopefully whatever this is happening, sorts it helps out pretty soon. But on the topic of that, it's nice to see ICB back. You got Pug now in it, former TFA, HIS. Both of them at one point, and now has joined up with ICB to look to make that account with Lepo properly. LW Ernesto is a challenge and a half. By looks of it, it's going to be an Anthony Pettis versus a Conor McGregor. These two are going to be in for a fight of their lifetimes here, Reaper.
They are. You know, this is going to be a great fight, especially at welterweight, right? Because you're judging with Anthony Pettis coming up to welterweight and Conor McGregor coming up to welterweight. Now, we do know that Anthony Pettis in real life had that sensational KO against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And you look back at the McGregor versus Diaz 2 fights and how he was able to perform in those 2 fights. But at welterweight caliber, who are you favouring in this fight? Anthony Pettis or Conor McGregor?
I'm gonna hand it to Ernesto. I heard Lepo talking all week about how he's looking for submission, and then he went Conor. So I don't think that's gonna be his game plan versus Ernesto. But the biggest thing is do not sleep on Ernesto, because that's what I did and I got knocked out. So
Caliber talking from the heart, it seems. Well, it's interesting that Lepo, this was a late replacement for Lepo, and so you can imagine that he was talking along about his subs, but now he's realised he's a different opponent, so he's going to go back to his tried and true method of beating the hell out of you on the feet here, Reaper. Punches after punch, looking just to knock the living hell out of you, and if it gets down to the mat, maybe, you never know, McGregor just pulls out a random ghillie. Who knows at this point? It's UFC 4.
Well, that's true as well. And also, you have to think Lepo, right? A very, very skilled wrestler, a very, very skilled submission artist. So even if it goes to the ground and Anthony Pettis is in his full guard caliber, I wouldn't be shocked to see Lepo throw up a guillotine.
I mean, it's never a bad idea to go for a submission, full guard especially. So, but right now we're on the feet, and Lepo is going to look early for those low kicks to slow Pettis down here, Doc.
Yep, low kicks to slow the footwork down, always a good idea. Comes with an added benefit of reducing your opponent's power, just giving you the more easy ability to trade. But so far, McGregor looking very calm, very composed, but so's Pettis. He's coming back and he's happy to engage constantly here at Reaper.
He is, you know, Ernesto's definitely looking to engage. It's not the game plan I would want to go with against McGregor. At any weight, I would obviously be looking for a takedown, because Anthony Pettis, on top or on the bottom, has some deadly submissions caliber.
The deadly submissions also got the deadly kicks, but Lepo is doing a great job of spacing out. He's either all the way in or all the way out. Exactly what you want to do, and he is disrespecting Pettis in the pocket here, Doc.
One of the biggest things I find about Pettis as a general pick is his ability to use the footwork. He has very fluid footwork, but against someone like McGregor, McGregor's also got that here, Reaper, so you got to imagine the footwork game is really going to play dividends just to opening up people's ability, trading in the pocket. It's looking like both of them are fairly hurt, but again, Ernesto seemingly just getting the worst of it very slightly here.
Yeah, you know, Ernesto's doing a great job of chopping that lead leg down. You guys can see there, Ernesto's leg health is pretty much untouched. And you can kind of see Ernesto's now working on his head and his legs. He's taking away all bases here, Caliber, from McGregor. And he's doing it at a steady pace as well. He's not rushing into these combinations. And he's letting Lepo throw whatever Lepo wants to throw, making his reads. And in my mind, this can pay off very dividends if we reach the third round, Caliber.
It will, but one thing, I wish Lepo would, you know, kind of move forward a little bit more. I get he's there, but he's coming in, eating a punch and a kick from Pettis, and then kind of backing off right there. So I would love to see him pressure, get him against the cage, then work your punches here, Doc.
Working the punches, lovely, but head movement there on the uppercut as well. A Superman punch, you don't see that every day, but it didn't do much damage. Rolling Thunder just really topped the statement of you're not seeing very many strikes these days. 40 seconds left, a heel kick there, doesn't land, and that leg kick is now starting to get worked. I feel like you're going to really see both of these opponents' legs start to crumble coming into the beginning of the second round here, Caliber.
Yeah, one thing, Ernesto, he's fighting at his own pace, which is the perfect thing to do versus Pettis. He is dictating where the fight goes, and right now that's working. Like Reaper, you mentioned it earlier, he's worked every single base.
He really has, and he's done such a excuse the word here, but an exquisite job at it. You know, he's really took his time, feeled him out in the first few minutes, did Ernesto, and said, okay, I've worked you out. It's time for me to go to work on your head and your legs. And you know, Doc, Ernesto's looking very calm here. Look, he's even making McGregor miss his lead straight after a combination. He's doing such a great job of just getting out of the pocket. But what I'm noticing here from Lepo is he's starting to get Ernesto's head held down a little bit more, Doc.
Don't worry about his head health, it is gone. Leaning into a spinning heel kick, Lepo takes the victory. That is what he wants when it's his birthday. You've got to imagine that man will be giddy, Caliber.
That was interesting. Ernesto slipped off to the side looking for the cross, and Lepo adjusted. He threw jab wheel kick. He never threw hook wheel kick. So beautifully done with a quick adjustment, quick little read, and that was nicely done there, Reaper.
It really was. That read was made in between the space of two combinations. That's how quick Lepo adapted to that second round. He read the combinations, and within two combinations, Doc, you're talking 6 punches, he was able to land a knockout blow. That's insane, Doc.
That is a fantastic job by Lepo. That was a late replacement fight as well, so even better for beating that guy. That was an overall impressive job. Fantastic adjustments from both sides. Looked like Ernesto was the guy winning, but then Lepo comes back straight into the second round and just adjusts like that. And so, with that leads us into our fourth fight of this evening. We'll be back in the featherweight division. This time around, we're going to have a Callum McGrath versus Cole. Slightly different from the graphic. It was originally booked to be Reaper versus Demon, but as Reaper pointed out, at the beginning of the card, Demon ended up running away. He got diagnosed with cowardly mindset, and so here we are. Anyhow, Caliber, anything you know about these two?
I know McGrath. He's former ESFL. He had a very good run, and I see a Cub Swanson pick. I'm immediately smiling. Connor from the other side. So I wonder what the ban here was in featherweight, Reaper. But right now, I'm very excited to see how these two match up.
Yeah, I'm really confused. Are they banning Dustin Poirier? Are they banning Charles Oliveira? They might even be banning Giga Chikadze. I don't know who they're banning, Doc, but in my mind, featherweight, McGregor just got a debuff. That's who I'm banning. You've got so many other choices like Edson Barboza, Anthony Pettis. You have there's another
Barboza
guy I can't think of, but it will come to me, Doc.
Really sad. I love Barboza, but the man has no chin, and he doesn't have particularly great in the punching power. If you want to use someone like Barboza, I would suggest using Giga at this weight. Maybe even Zabit just for a wrestling taken. Anyhow, just moving off the point about picks, we are stuck with the Cub Swanson versus McGregor pick, if I remember correctly. And so these two are going to be looking for a fun fight, a nice little taunt there, kiss on lips, thanking the crowd for this opportunity to compete within one of the biggest leagues around. And here we are.
So I was interested. So I looked in the pre-fight lobby. McGrath had the ban and just didn't make a ban. So he's comfortable here on this Cub pick. Cubs holds a lot of power. He's just got to watch the body health. And right now he looks very confident. Oh, as I say that, he gets
Not
dropped that
banning
Reaper.
someone may make him regret him pretty soon. McGregor already coming out looking fantastic, getting the drop, side kick to the head there, jab straight there as well. Another jab straight retaliation. It's looking like McGregor's got a bit of that distance control, just a bit more. Head kick lands there as well, Reaper, and McGregor so far looking like the more dominant player here.
Oh, Doc, 1,000,000%. There's no question. You know, we all know who McGrath is, right? As Caliber said, former ESFL competitor. I have never heard of Cole, but I'm telling you now, I'm watching Cole from now on at the minute, Caliber, because he's looking sensational out there. The combinations are beautiful.
He's just making reads at a very quick level. Landed that head kick, landed the uppercut and the lead hook, and right now McGrath has to take a step back, just slow it down a little bit. There's a front kick up the middle, but he's already really behind on the cardio and the head health here, Doc.
Right, he's doing a fantastic job. Digs down to that body as well. I don't know when he did, but then you got a straight double jab as it were, a jab to the body. It seems like a fairly useless strike overall, but it just has enough to confuse your opponent. Spinning elbow there by McGregor. Doesn't have it in his arsenal, but can do it after catching the kick, it seems.
Yeah, I don't think McGregor has ever thrown a spinning elbow, a spinning back fist, a spinning anything to do with his hands. Oh,
What in the world?
Cole is looking like a marauder of men. He has put KOA McGrath, a former ESFL competitor, on the back foot, albeit it is a Conor McGregor versus Cub Swanson, but you had the choice to ban, and you didn't, Caliber. So we really have no choice but to look at this as an all-round performance here. This is crazy.
I'm loving the way he uses his lead hand right here. He jabs open, finds the reaction, and then throws accordingly. When he's landing these head kicks, it's at the end, just when McGrath is darting out of boxing range here, Doc.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. McGrath, also a former PT title challenger, if I remember correctly, and so he's fought the best of the best. He's made his way up in this league, and it's looking like Cole has really put himself on the man. Blaze replacement, as we mentioned a couple of times now, and both of these guys are just looking truly tainted. McGregor's Cub Swanson's an impressive pick, but McGregor, stat-wise, he's just better overall, and so far he's having that bit more success here, Reaper.
He is indeed, Doc. You hit the nail on the head. And, you know, I know Cyrez is somewhere watching this thinking, my goodness, this man is wrecking my favourite fighter. But, you know, just the way Cole is fighting, he's fighting like a talented boxer. Like, if you were to watch a boxing match, this is how it would go, Caliber.
A kickboxing match. He landed multiple head kicks there in the early rounds. But yeah, he's very sound defensively, but getting his head out of the way. And there's the striking stats, almost 2-1 in favor of Cole. If I'm McGrath, I'm gonna work the body here in round 2 and try to get this into the latter part of the fight here, Doc.
140 strikes, interestingly enough, when you look to those stats, and he only landed 50 of them, but you can see the stamina, it's fairly dented. That's a lovely control over the general stamina, making sure that if you're landing a duck uppercut, though, duck straight into it, gets yourself knocked down, elbow starting to come out a bit more. You saw the power of the elbow, slips off to the side, digs down to that body as well. Body kick does miss, a head kick follows in retaliation, does go try to work that body a bit more, another elbow comes out, ducks under there, Reaper. Both of these guys just have truly brilliant reaction skills, just dodging and weaving at any moment's notice here.
They really do. And apart from that knockdown at the start of this round, you know, it's kind of been on display. McGrath is doing a much better job now of getting out of the pocket and taking shots on his guard. And Cole is just being Cole, basically. You know, what can you say? Cole's combinations and Cole's his defensibility is at the moment, for me, Caliber, probably some of the best I've seen thus far.
Oh, and there's another left hand. He lands right, digs to the body. And if I'm Cole, I mean, he's got a rock as I say this, but just don't overextend. Don't throw a random high kick that isn't set up, because that finish will come towards him. He just got to wait it out here, Doc.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest issues when you notice these fighters so far ahead. A lot of the time is they get frustrated because the guy just won't die. They've got incredible defense a lot of the time. As you can see, a head kick coming out does get blocked though. Now McGrath on the front foot, but instead though gets a bit more damage done to the block. That jab always coming out here. McGregor digging to the top and head, comes down back to the body, and Teep there gets a bit of distance, comes out again, straight body kick also for our shoes. Cub Swanson holding his guts in pain, but so far he just won't go down without a fight, and McGregor is finding a very difficult time finding a hole in that defense here, Reaper.
He is, and McGregor's having such a great offensive and defensive fight tonight that it's going to be again. McGrath is here to fight. He is here to spoil the party if it was, and if I'm not mistaken, KIA McGrath is an Irishman, so I have to pull for the Irishman here, Caliber.
Oh, and there's another elbow, but he's trying to slowly scrap his way into this head.
Wow.
Beautifully done. He's thrown that multiple times in the fight. But right there, I think McGrath tried to get him to overreact a little bit early in the fight, but Cole did not. He was sound defensively, worked his head kick, worked his elbow inside, and that was beautifully done there, Doc.
Yeah, a slip straight onto the side, and instead of slipping the punch, a kick to the head was all they wrote. Did simulate it tracked a bit, was going straight down the middle, but instead went to the side. The interesting part of UFC, but all fair under the game. Reaper.
Definitely, Doc. And you know what? Condolences to KIA McGrath. He put up a great fight with Cub Swanson. But congratulations to Cole. As you said, Doc, they were two late replacements. Cole, I don't believe I've ever seen him fight here before. For me, that could have been a debut. But Jesus Christ, Caliber, he looked like a world beater. And you have to remember, that's a former ESFL competitor.
Yeah, he's a fan.
He played perfectly. It was well done. I was loving the slip cross. He ducked under the hook from McGrath. So on to the next fight. I think we have, unless there was a replacement, we have Satch versus Jack here next up.
Yeah, Satchmo Life versus Jack, also known as JT Viper within the Discord community. This fight will be at lightweight. Did just have to wait for an advert to pass, but now that it's done, we're going to go straight into this fight. These two, by the looks of it, are going to be both hovering over Masvidal, but I'm not particularly sure what they're doing. Oh, we got Holloway.
This is what I'd like to see. 2 4-stars, Max Holloway, Masvidal, power versus stamina. Caliber, this will be an entertaining fight, right? This should be a really entertaining fight. 2 similar game plans mixed in with a stamina battle, if you will.
Yeah, both of these guys love to walk forward, throw the wild combinations, and I'm very interested to see how the Masvidal power affects Holloway here in lightweight, because the chin isn't as good as featherweight version, but I'm very interested in what they do here, Reaper.
Yeah, and especially Satchmo Life, right? Satchmo Life loves to go forward. He loves his output. You know, if you follow his YouTube channel, you follow anything to do with Satchmo Life, you know he loves his output, he loves his volume. So Max Holloway is the perfect choice for him at this weight class under the regards of 4-star, Doc. With Jack now, he's got to go with power, with a volume, also using Masvidal, because he doesn't have the greatest gas tank at this weight class, right? So you want to get Max's stamina down pronto, Doc.
Well, the idea there is to work the body using the boxing effectively, and also kick your opponent's legs out. If he kicks Max's legs out, I feel like that's going to do quite a lot more, just because the way Max is built. He's got no power, so kicking legs out more will probably do more damage. So far, both these guys trading the pocket, playing very aggressively overall here. Caliber.
One thing I always get on the Satchmo spar is he's always trying to push the pace even when it's not advantageous for him. And the early thing I'm seeing, just a minute into this fight, he's not pushing the pace per se. He's just kind of letting Jack do what he wants and moving forward. But Satch is landing good shots here, Reaper.
He is. Maybe Satch is hoping that if he can miss a few shots, he'll probably gas himself out. You know, Masvidal, as I said, does not have the greatest gas tank at this weight class. So maybe Satch is hoping, hey, if I can get out of the way of some of his shots, I can maybe hopefully drain his stamina, though.
Well, a couple of issues, sorry, just to correct on this by apparently Jack isn't JT Viper, so apologies on that. And Cole has apparently was Limit, which is a completely different guy who recently made his comeback. So, just a side note on that. Anyhow, sorry, apologies about that. Random stuff happening. Back to this fight, which is annoyingly decided to pause. These two engaging in a boxing match for the ages, Reaper. Neither of them wanting to take a step back. Does look like Massive Doubt is having a bit of a better time, but at the same time, Holloway is just got a gas tank for days, including that boxing here.
Well, it is, right? And Satchmo was kind of like, okay, you go, I go, you go, I go, but now I'm going to go, Caliber. And now he realises he's got Masvidal on the ground. We're essentially in Max Holloway's world here, because at lightweight, he would have the better wrestling, Caliber.
Yeah, I love the takedown. Jack landed a few good spins to the body, and Satch, gets the drop, and he's like, okay, I'm going to secure this round a la Dirty Dave. But I love the groundwork here late, Doc.
Yeah, it's a fantastic bit of groundwork so far. Playing a very dangerous game, does get to top mount now, and this could be it for Jack if he's not careful. Satchmo seems like he's well versed in this game, trying to put a lot of people across the board, not part of a camp, but maybe a good pickup. You are looking for one, to be fair. Now digging down up top and bottom, a minute left in this round. Has got the knockdown in his favour, the health stats are also in his favour, and getting the health stats not in your favour when you're fighting someone like Holloway is going to be a very dangerous game to play here, Caliber.
He's doing well, and not only has he got the takedown, he's active, which is very good. He's not going to use much stamina, but he is making Jack work. From here, I would have personally went with the knees, but the elbows are working, and they're very sharp, Reaper.
Yeah, you're dead right there, Caliber. And, as you were saying there, to throw it back to Satch, he got out of full guard instantly, right? He did not want to be in full guard. He made his way straight to side saddle. He put Jack in a very uncomfortable position, did he, Doc? And at the end of that round, he's coming in with the knowledge now, okay, I can easily get the side saddle and do my work if I need to.
Yeah, side saddle. He's also got a knockdown on the feet though as well. So you've got to imagine Satch's confidence right now is going to be at an all-time high. Jack needs to really look at what he's doing. The uppercut's going to do some damage, but the elbow doesn't land completely. Masvidal has no chin. The head kick nearly comes out and clips him. That jab straight is well out of distance. He needs to get that jab established. The body kick does work there, even in a stam across the board. But now it's a case of staying patient. Herb Dean seems a bit shocked at what's going on in the background. Ding down to the bottom, up top, a switch kick there following suit so far, but neither opponent really letting go here.
I will say, when you go into round two after just an unsuccessful round one and seeing those health stats difference, it's so demoralizing. And I feel like Satch is playing off of that. He's moving forward a lot more efficiently. Jack just trying to fish for a counter here, Reaper, and it's not going well.
It really isn't. And, Satch, since closing toward the end of round one, really found his zone, right? And he's only being more polished now in this round. Until the rock, Doc. But Doc, he's got overzealous here with Caliber, and Caliber he's now probably giving up this round.
That was very ill-advised. He got hit with a slip cross, then went for the wheel kick there, but Satch back to the full guard. He could actually steal this round away. He did get a rock earlier, but he's going to have to work a lot. Looks like Jack's going to try to work to his feet. He does get it. Satch is probably going to look for the takedown off the two hooks, maybe. Nope, back to the knees. There it is. And I'd love to see him work here from side control.
Fantastic job now digging down to that body. Takedown does work fantastically. So Masvidal half stamina, Satchmo not far off. However, you also remember it's Max Holloway's recovery that's going to be massive if he does get into that third round. Both these guys are doing a fantastic job here, Reaper.
Yeah, Doc, come here, look. Apart from that one little spinning wheel kick that Satchmo did throw, that Caliber said was very ill-advised. He kind of looked solid on the ground. He'd somehow been able to pull it back, but as right now, Jack has somehow managed to get himself back into half guard. And now we have a battle of the ground, right? We have a battle of, okay, now it's my wrestling versus your wrestling. But Caliber, let me throw it to you real quick. If you're Holloway, surely you're looking at that head held, right? That head held for Jack is nothing. You want to get back up to the feet and work your jab and your jab hooks.
Work the jab hooks. Yeah, agreed. That is going to be his money. Oh, there's the hooks off the cage, like you called. There it is. And there's the high kick. He's going to land it. That might be it. He doesn't get the full mount pull, but that was a sneaky way to steal the round back, especially with the clinch striking. I really wish you would stop looking for these spins from the Holloway side, because that's going to get you in trouble in round 3, Doc.
Takes down to that body instead, and another time. That was a hectic end to the round. A stunning piece, 2 knockdowns and a stun. However, 20-10, significant strikes in the favour of Maxwell Wade. Probably wins the round. I've seen closer stats, and the judges go to the complete opposite direction. So, who knows at this point? The judges are UFC 4 judges. A spinning heel kick though, as he goes for a tape, and he gets clipped there. Coming back, a very aggressive head kick up top. Jack evidently a bit more confident than he was at the start of round 2, but his health stats are worse now.
Oh, there's the elbow inside. I wouldn't say confident. I'd say I think he's down, but there's the uppercut, and that's it. Beautifully done. Wow. Satch did the clinch striking, though, was the tipper. Both of them were very competitive on the feet. Jack got on top in round 2 and did well, but the clinch striking from Holloway and Satch really did well and secured the fight there, Doc.
Yeah, the uppercut there at the very end, clipping him and allowing the easy finish there. Doing a fantastic job. You can see the uppercut then allows Holloway to get the finish and getting the clean KO there, Reaper.
Yeah, that uppercut off the break is always deadly, you know. Even if it doesn't get you the knockdown against the fence, it's going to put you against the fence and have you really badly rocked, especially that late in the fight with such low head health. But as Caliber did say, Jack did do a great job in the second round, but Satchmo was he was on a different level going into that third round. He knew what his game plan was and he executed it perfectly, Doc.
Yep, executing a game plan perfectly is what you like to see in the featured main event, in the featured prelim of tonight's card. So, with that, we move on to our main card of this evening. We got TFM Noggin versus Evo, G-Man versus Kobe, SMB Brady versus LW Onjay. Brady no longer part of the SMB camp, but instead FD, Federal Dentist, I'm not mistaken, a camp to set up today by Optics. In the co-main event, we will now be having BPAP, Jakey versus Effingham Clover, and to top it all off, to make sure we get our primetime guarantee of tonight, Reaper, it'll be Smudger versus STK Storm.
Oh yeah, and that main card is looking lush. That's a stacked main card, especially culminating to that main event, Caliber.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm glad to see Jakey. You said Jakey came back in, so that I'm very interested to see how the on the feet's gonna mesh with Clover. But I think we have Noggin versus Evo up next, and it looks like a welterweight.
Middleweight.
Middleweight, okay.
Middleweight. So we're going to be having Marvin Tory versus Robert Whittaker. What I recently found out interesting by Marvin Tory is he's got a 97 chin, which is insane.
Yeah, Vittori is no slouch when it comes to the cardio. That's what makes him so good. That's why I did use him in a little bit in the ESFL versus his Whittaker matchup. So if I'm Evo, you got to avoid the takedown, and you got to make sure you put Vittori on the back foot, Reaper.
100%, you're dead right. You got to put Vittori on the cage. That's going to force the shot. And when you can force the shot, Doc, you see it coming better, right? Because you're giving your opponent pretty much, with the power you have as Robert Whittaker, no chance. You have to shoot. So if you can get your opponent to shoot under your circumstances, that stamina is going to go quick, Doc.
It will do indeed. Interesting note, the fight statistics did say 7-0 in the favour of Noggin. So if you're Noggin, you're going to have to be wary. You're going to be feeling very confident. However, you don't know if they're spars, they're rage quits, they're ranked. You don't know what they are. So it's all still up in the hands. Evo could easily come back and get his first win over Noggin here. So far, both of these guys playing very aggressive. The leg kick's working out. A head kick follows suit there, Caliber, and you've got to imagine that Evo is already feeling confident in his abilities here.
Well, Evo, I feel like he showed his card too early. He's gonna look for the low kick, and he's gonna bang it up high eventually. But with Vittori, he will be there all 15 minutes. And there's the takedown early from Noggin, Reaper.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful takedown, right? You realize very quickly, okay, I was getting hit with leg kicks, I was getting hit with head kicks. You can't kick me if you're on your back, Doc, is basically what he said. And I am 7-0 over you, albeit now when you're under the prime time lights, everything changes. When someone tells you to go and your fight starts, Doc, those nerves do hit you.
So far, allowing the back sitting now. Posture up there does get a bit of defense. However, Robert Whittaker decides to disengage. A side kick there, followed by a leg kick as well. This is 3 minutes in so far. Neither of them really committed to any big actions, apart from the leg kicks by Whittaker, which have done some damage. But in terms of striking, it seems both of them are fairly adept here.
I will say, when you're on Vittori, the biggest issue is working the base, working the body, and working the leg. So if Evo knows that Noggin, okay, he can only go to one target, yet he's going to counter it. And there's the straight and elite hook right there. It gets the rock early, doesn't overextend right there, Reaper.
Yeah, and it's beautiful work as well from the Evo Panda. You know, now he's really starting to kind of take a back step. He's letting Vittori come to him, so he can plant and rip. And now he's working that leg. He's got to check these kicks, Doc. We're still early in round one here.
Yeah, we're very early on, and this is what you're going to be doing. Your Evo working that base, working it down. Another leg kick comes out there, and he's done a fantastic job. Evo having again some difficulty. A takedown attempt there by Noggin. Noggin not typically a grappling path, so maybe he's getting a bit desperate. He knows the leg kicks, and he just wants to stop the onslaught there. Now looking for a bit of that ground and pound. Doesn't do much damage overall, just making it a bit known. And with that, Evo still in bottom full guard here, Caliber.
I disagree with the takedown shot late. Yes, I know. Okay, I don't want to get hit. I just got rocked. But unless he lands massive ground and pound from full mount or something, which it doesn't look like he'll do, that's just kind of a waste of stamina. Vittori's biggest weapon here versus Whittaker. So right now, Evo, I'd be on cruise control entering round two. I chopped a leg up there, Reaper, and he really didn't get much done to me.
No.
Yeah, it is. But it's one of those things as well where if you take your opponent down, even if it's late in the round, you're still putting the knowledge inside his head that he took you down. And you know that there's still 2 rounds left. And as you were saying, he's getting off some serious ground and pound right now here, Doc. And he's really trying to change the tide of this fight as it is.
Noggin heard what you said, Caliber, at the end. That was some fantastic takedown not fantastic takedown defense, or some fantastic ground and pound, pushing around a bit closer, making the head up a bit similar. And with that, we move into the second round here. We've seen both of their cards on display, and so this should be an interesting fight.
Evo working the leg there early. He needs to switch stance. That's the first thing that popped in my head, Reaper. I'd be very worried letting that right leg get kicked again.
I was literally thinking the same thing. The second that the round started, I would have switched stances. I wouldn't have even contemplated staying in Southpaw, Doc.
Yeah, I wouldn't have contemplated staying Southpaw. However, maybe you just want to make them dig to that leg a bit more so you can check it, but it does have the risky advantage with your opponent doing it. Interestingly enough, Noggin he's decided to kick with that leg as well, and now coming to straight set down the middle, spin elbow follow suit. Lead hook also there, but so far both of these guys are staying fairly active with both their strikes here, Reaper.
They are, and you guys can see there, Panda's head health is very, very slowly dwindling, right? He's done such a good job in this fight of pushing forward, but Noggin right now is doing such a good job of it sneakily, Caliber. And I say the word sneakily because I don't know if Panda realizes how low his head health is actually getting. He does now.
Yeah, that full mount, like I mentioned, well, I spoke too soon there in round one. If he gets to full mount, he'll do a bunch of damage. Vittori is one of the best ground and pound artists here at middleweight, and that full mount did do a lot. And Panda just kind of got hit there early in the round, and it whittled down his head health. He's got to get off the cage from this Vittori onslaught here, Doc.
Yeah, he's having an onslaught put onto him. That 97 chin staying strong. The Cabrio Whittaker only goes so far until you get your head kicked in, but the leg kicks of Vittori may be something to really start to worry. That leg is blinking non-stop, but Evo's looking to want to be in that pocket, and he needs to probably back out, use that jab, make Noggin overcommit, and then do that, as you can see. But a front kick comes back there, and straight down the middle, lead hook, a straight follow suit. Now looking to get the ground and pound finish here, and he does so with one shot.
And great patience. That's the word I have to use for Noggin. He got to the ground and pound after he probably lost round one just due to the low kicks, but worked the pressure, kind of got Evo to overreact, and then just found the lead hook into straight, beautiful drop, and then beautiful ground and pound there, Reaper.
Yeah, Noggin just showed everybody in this community that you can stand with Robert Whittaker. with Marvin Vettori, even when one of your legs are broken, Doc.
Yeah, and when your leg's broken, you stand with Robert Whittaker is an always impressive time. And so we now move on to our next main card fight up this evening, being the PlayStation Division. It'll be lightweight this time. It'll be G-Man versus KIA Kobe. Kobe, tip from the KIA camp, you know he's going to be a fantastic fighter. G-Man, on the other hand, is all round. He's fought a lot of people, currently ranked 7-4-0. So if Kobe can get this win, whilst he's 5-3, he's going to have a fantastic jump up.
Doc, you said it best there, right? 4-0. G-Man's 4-0 right now. He has got the I don't even know the word, the air of invincibility, right? The man is 4-0, has not tasted defeat here this season, but you're coming up against a man who was in the ESFL in Kobe, and I know Kobe. I fought Kobe. Kobe is a very serious kickboxer, Doc. So this is going to be a fun fight. I think this fight is going to be probably maybe fight of the night.
It's entirely possible. Is it bad that when I looked at Michael Chandler, I saw Dan Henderson? Quite possibly. On the side note of Kobe, you also got to remember that he's also a former primetime title contender. So the man knows his stuff. He's legit. He has beaten the best in the best, and he's made a name for himself. Now this time round, he's going to make another title run. And what better way is to do it against Mike G-Man, who's currently 4-0 here tonight. Caliber.
So one thing I will say with this Chandler-Oliveira matchup, I have experimented with this, is that Chandler has to stay in and out. He's got to stay away from those dangerous knees and elbows and the side kicks, all of which come from Oliveira and that excellent tie base. And the body shots are going to be massive here early, Reaper, and he is landing them.
He really is. You know, Kobe's one of those guys that if you give him space to work and you let him fight his fight, he'll get settled within the first minute. And we've seen it in prime time. He's pulled away a minute into a fight, Doc, and he virtually gets untouched. If G-Man lets him get set like he's letting him get set, throwing these wild combinations, mixing it up expertly, but that's what he needs to do right there, Doc.
Well, a takedown
exactly
attempt by Chandler is what you want to be seeing, as you mentioned. Goes straight into top man. Oliveira's got the jiu-jitsu to handle. Does get denied there, and that's massive, allowing the top mount ground and pound to already open up. Kobe just blocking those constant barrages of hooks. Maybe you just see the straight family top mount, maybe the best bet. Instead, though, gets that, does get out of it now, and could probably look for some form of attempt into full guard, but right now Chandler looking at the posture up to get a lot of damage done quickly and early here, Caliber.
G-Man with the excellent read of, I'm getting hit, let's change the pace of this fight. And he goes to the ground, but he's got to be dangerous in this Oliveira guard, uses the momentum transition to stack, and he is going to get it. If I'm Chandler, yeah, I'm going to look for the ground and pound, look to kind of hurt Oliveira. Here finishes a goodness, but Oliveira's up on the feet here, Reaper.
Yeah, and Kobe now needs to reassess what he wants to do in this fight. You guys can see here now, right now he's swinging uppercuts from outside the pocket. He feels like he's maybe under a little bit too much pressure now, Doc. He's just had some of his head held and most of his block dwindled from that ground and pound, and he's opening up for G-Man now, and G-Man just needs to stay patient, look to get his takedown. And
well, a slip hook off to the side,
takedown.
dodges a straight there. That's what you wanted to see. Michael Chandler now starting to really open up. He's had a lot of success now, dragging back down. Does get denied there. Oliveira, I think he's used it more for his own more than his grappling prowess, because if I'm Oliveira, I'm the guy taking him down to the ground before Chandler is, but so far Chandler's the guy shooting another takedown, taking it on top here. Still got a long time to work, Caliber, and now he's looking for a top mount transition here.
G-Man has just perpetual motion. That's what comes to mind. He is always trying to get the takedown, always trying to land a little slip counter. He's doing very well. Just a quick adjustment. Oliveira going to try to slice to the back of the Reaper. Nothing happening.
No. Listen, G-Man is all over him. He is not letting him go anywhere. He is stuck to him like glue. And Doc, if you're Kobe at this point, in a 3-round fight, right? Now, we are still in the first round, albeit, but it's not looking good for Kobe to reassess himself.
He's definitely not looking good so far. He's had massive success there. As you can see, 15 to 21 significant strikes in the favour of Chandler, knockdown included. 2 takedown attempts that had massive success. He's read his opponents, he's read some of the combinations, got the counters off here as well, Caliber. That distance management, even when you're the shorter fighter, is absolutely crucial, and that's what he's also managed to establish, as well as the leg kicks on a few occasions here.
I would love to see Kobe make the adjustment. You see G-Man coming in with that slip hook. The most efficient counter to that slip hook, yes, a hook to the outside. The Oliveira elbow, beautiful shot, and I think he can land it here if he finds a read there on the slip hook, Reaper.
Yeah, if he times even one of those, that's going to take such a big chunk of head health, and it's going to make G-Man reassess how he wants to enter the pocket. And I think he's heard you, Caliber, here, because that lead hook is coming out on fire right now. And Doc, this is a big test for G-Man, right? We're breaking down the fight as we go, but realistically, G-Man is fighting a former title challenger, and he's looked so good on the ground until...
It's those small adjustments, and I love the fact that it's not, as soon as you call it a lot of time in commentary, they start doing it. It's one of the most interesting phenomena you see whenever you commentate his cards, and this is what you want to be seeing, making those adjustments as we call them. And G-Man's done a fantastic job so far, but he needs to switch it up. But the uppercut's now coming out, and an elbow, which does a fantastic job. Takedown attempts, which is probably what he wants to do here, and a lovely denial by Kobe there.
I'm watching G-Man. I feel like he's throwing the wrong shots. You know, he pulled that hook. You're the shorter fighter. There's the flip hook again. But he needs to. There it is. He gets the drop right there. He adjusted well on the shot selection, but he's got to be careful here versus Oliveira. And kind of Oliveira-esque performance battling back here in round number 2, Reaper.
Yeah, especially. And what better man to have a Oliveira-esque performance than Kobe, right? He just has everything as he finds himself here in the crucifix position. And G-Man, he can't hold it, Doc, right? Maybe that's down to nerves, maybe that's down to the head hadn't dwindled too much. And Doc, you know better than anybody. You've been in this community for a long time. Everyone has a game plan until you start losing your health, right?
Yeah. It's one of the most interesting phenomena. It's like when you would fight in real life. You have this game plan, you work to it, and then suddenly you realise you're losing the fight, and everything goes to hell in your head. And that's where you really know the true talent of the game. Who can keep their head on the longest? Who can keep your nerves under control as soon as it all goes to hell? It's not the fights that you win are the fights that really make what you are. It's the fights that you lose. And Oliveira so far is having a fantastic job coming back, really making the reads, but Chandler is clobbered him there with the overhand, looking to make the finish, and just went, no, you can't have any comeback. Jesus, that overhand came out of nowhere and absolutely clobbered him there, Reaper.
It really did. That was like the real life fight between Chandler and Oliveira, right? So back and forth. Everyone had their moments. It ended in the second round, just like this fight. Jesus Christ, Caliber, that overhand, what?
It just shot him straight into the mat there, Reaper. You got to imagine that you're going to be very, very concussed there.
Oh, 100%. And Kobe done such a great job of coming back into that fight, right? Kobe done everything right to get back into the fight. He was listening to Caliber, it seems, on commentary. Lead hook, elbow, Caliber. But unfortunately, it took one big overhand from Iron Mike Chandler to put him to sleep.
Indeed. He did a fantastic job there, Reaper. And overall, you got to imagine that if you're going to be someone like that in the game, you got to have a really good ability to make adjustments to your opponent.
You really do, and both men showed great adjustments. And for me, Doc, as I said when I called it, that's probably going to be fight of the night. I don't know what fight is going to be better than that, but look, we've got 3 more to try, right?
We got 3 more to try. We got SMB, Brady. If I keep saying SMB when he's not SMB, he is FD, I think. I don't know. Brady, stop hopping around camps, please. I beg. It'll make life a lot easier. LW Onjay, though, is a guy who's got sub for his days. He's very fantastic crossed all around, and he does a fantastic job. I did just get confirmation about the Callum McGrath versus Cole fight. Cole turned out to be Limit, who Just to give you a quick rundown on the limit, he's a fantastic McGregor player. He came in, he started out very effectively. He started all the way back in season 1 on Xbox. Recently, he took about a year off, came back, looked really good. As McGregor took a couple more months off and then come back and fought someone like Notorious Reaper. You've got to imagine that's a pretty impressive performance there.
It's an amazing performance. We were so kind of behind him, saying he's a newcomer, he's making a statement, and it turns out to be limit. It's kind of like the man's been doing this forever, especially on Xbox. Season 1, you got to think, Doc, Xbox League before PlayStation was even considered to be let in. So he's been around and fought his fights, and it's good to see he's gone off for a year, honed his craft, came back and did some very, very solid McGregor work there tonight.
Indeed, he did a fantastic job. This entire card from top to bottom has been stacked. So that leads us into the last 3 fights. Just a quick rundown again. We've got the Brady versus Andre, which will be up next. We then have Beef-Up Jakey versus the mighty S&B Clover. In the welterweight division, those two are going to be set to put on a hell of performance. Jakey, former title challenger, won his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. Now looking to make another title run towards the belt. Beating Clover will be a massive one. But same with Clover. If he beats Jakey, that's massive. To quote Jakey, he's a gatekeeper, and that's the way he likes it. I called him that myself. He did take some offense to it, but to be fair, that was quoting himself there. And then
if Jakey is a gatekeeper, I've never seen a gatekeeper with so much talent and so much skill to be in the co-main event. He's some gatekeeper, I'll tell you that, Doc.
Well, that's prime time for you. Hey, you say everybody says this, but Primetime's one of the best leagues around, and that's no doubt about it. You got people like Jakey in the co-main event. He's got so much talent, but he could not get to that top. He is controlled only by the best of the best, and that's your job to prove that you are the best of the best. You make the run. We've got the rankings. They're not biased. They're all done by points. We just input the data. The data gives us the points, and you're stuck in the rankings. So it's none of us doing. It's just the program itself. It's not biased. You just come in here, win your fights, do it quickly, round 1 KOs. You've seen it before with Blackout. Blackout came in and utterly destroyed them, and that is what you're going to be looking for here. So, Caliber, with all that being said, leads us straight into this fight of SMB Brady versus Andre. Both of these guys are experienced. Brady's even more experienced. I think he'd had a couple title shots already, so, and that's why he's in the top of the main card this evening.
Yeah, both of these guys love moving forward, landing their big shots. And as I say that, there's a Khabib pick, so ignore what I just said. Khabib Dustin, Brady's obviously going to look for the takedown, but I'm very interested to see how Oni is going to deal with this, because that could be top pressure. There's nothing else like it in the game, Reaper.
No, really not. Like, let's be realistic here. If you get Khabib on top of you, if you get Khabib anywhere near you, clinch, full guard, side control, wherever he is on top mount, it's an issue, Doc, right? You're getting up whenever he decides to let you up.
Yes, I do agree. However, interesting. Thank you. Please get back into the main screen. I would like that, preferably. Thank you. What just happened?
Did they just quit out?
I know what's happened. Okay. Well, hopefully let the guys figure out that in the back whilst you wait for that. Interesting. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I'll get word on what's going on there. What I was going to talk about was the actual fight itself, being Khabib versus Poirier. Can I just point, Andre's a sub-artist. Brady, for the most part, is a striker, so him coming out with a grappling pick is a bit weird.
It's like a Freaky Friday swap. That's what it's like. It's like Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, a little Freaky Friday swap of styles there, Caliber.
Yeah, I guess he's been sparring with Dave, because Khabib is not very often picked because it's such a one-sided style. Like, for example, Oliveira, Kobe showed you can strike with him and also use the grappling, but Khabib, you just kind of have to, if you are not confident you're better than that person on the ground, Khabib is not the pick for you. So I'm very interested to see how Brady was going to use that there, Doc. But
apparently Andre got logged out, whatever that means. I assume maybe his Xbox just decided it didn't like him and kicked him out of his own console. Who's particularly sure? Hopefully these two can get lobbied up pretty soon. In the meantime, as we discussed earlier, to be the best of the best, Caliber, what's it like? You're going to be fighting for the title tomorrow night.
that's hyperbolic. And this in primetime man, it's all about who gets their flow going and how long they can sustain it. For example, Jakey is not a gatekeeper. I hate when he calls himself that. He can contend for the title whenever he wants. He just has to get in his rhythm, for example. But I'm very excited to fight Dave, and we'll see how it works.
Well, I mean, you're going to be, and if you do hold the title, you're most likely going to end up either fighting someone like the names was Trixie or Fadinator, and those two are the best of the best. Trixie, the guy at primetime, Fadinator not far behind. The only reason he isn't is Trixie consistently beats him, although as time goes on, that seems to be getting closer and closer with those two slowly starting to even out each other's playstyles.
I think we're getting close. I might be mistaken.
Caliber, I have to ask you, right, mate? Because competitor, and Doc, you can get in on this as well, because you were also a competitor, a very good one at that.
I still am, to some extent. I do make my odd occasions.
He makes the Conor McGregor comeback every year, is it?
I'm 2-0 on the PlayStation division, thank you very much. I haven't been because I've been too busy running the cards.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Caliber, competitor to competitor, right? You're going up for the championship tomorrow night, right? Now, myself, people don't know this because I've had such a terrible run this season, but in my primetime career, I've had 4 championship opportunities, right? Never won one. You have the opportunity tonight to win the primetime Xbox Championship, the most lustrous championship of them all, right? That's what this whole league was built around, Xbox, and it was your first ever championship, the Xbox Championship. What does it mean for you to possibly win that championship tomorrow night against a competitor as dominant as Dirty Dave?
In the game.
I gotta be honest, I hate looking at the tangibles. What I have in front of me is I have a fight versus Dirty Dave, who I know is a very excellent grappler, and he's going to be on the Volkanovski pick, which recently buffed, so I've been working on it. But it's a 5-round fight, and when you make it more than it appears to be, right? Some guys do well under that, and some guys just crumble. So I mentally try to just block out most of the noise. But yeah, a very illustrious prize. I'm very excited, and Dave will be a good challenge. There's the belt right now is everyone's hunting for it. You got guys like Fad, like you mentioned, Trixie as well. These guys are so good, and it's just whoever's on that night. Everyone has their on and off nights, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I think we're getting close to being ready right here, Doc. I might be mistaken again.
I think they're just lobbying up and we should be good to go. Talking about belts, though, because you saw the Xbox belt be fairly stable in just its overall progression. It managed to keep it going quite solidly, but the PS belt has been moving up and top constantly back and forth, and so it's a really interesting thing to note here that it's going to be a very interesting thing to watch, see how this Xbox belt develops against the PS belt, because you see a lot of the time that most people don't rate PS as highly just because of how much a belt's moving, but now you went from Optics to Jakey to Dave, and now tomorrow it could very well go to you, and that's 4 transitions in about as many weeks here tonight.
I think we are good to go.
I hope we are. Maybe. Who knows?
I hope we are. I'm very excited to see this fight. But yeah, I love watching the PlayStation side because there's a little bit more striking. Not as bad, like guys like Blackout, who just go in there, no regard for their opponent, and run through them. That's what makes watching PlayStation so interesting, at least from across the pond on Xbox. But these guys just love going in there and banging. I'm very excited to see what happens, especially with this main event. Smudger and Storm, it's not for the belt, if I'm corrected. But those guys don't like each other, and they're not going to look for, I'm going to go out there and take them down with a decision. No, they're looking to take each other's heads off, Reaper.
Well, apologies just to cut you off there. We are now in the actual fight now. Apologies, we managed to miss the loading screen, but it looks like it's RDA versus Poirier. Change of pick by Khabib. Interesting. Maybe not completely legal, but at this point, from how long it's taken to get into the lobby, we'll take it. So, rundown. Onjay is the grappler, but he's picked Poirier. Brady is the striker, but he picked Khabib last time they loaded up, so who knows at this point. This should be a fun time. Both of them disengaging, both of them probably a bit unsure what's going on. Maybe just a bit unsure here, Reaper.
Yeah, I'd say what they're both doing right now here is, Doc, is from my knowledge, what I do is when a fight like this is happening, I feel out the lag. So they may be having a little bit of lag, and they're trying to get their timing on that lag caliber. I tend to do that. I tend to step back and see if my opponent throws at him, and if he does, I kind of get a read on how he's fighting. But in terms of the Brady pick, I think it's a much, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, saying, oh, it's definitely not. But for me, caliber, the RDA pick is better than the Khabib pick, even a legacy Khabib pick at that, because the only thing that lets RDA down is his chin, right? But when you have this game plan of take RDA down, you don't have to worry about that head help. You've got submission for days down here, caliber.
No, I agree. I love using RDA in this game. The issue, it's yes, the chin a little bit, but the main issue is the power. You got power punchers like Dustin and the Gaethjes and the Connors of the world. But Brady is doing well. Both of these guys seem timid a little bit here, Doc. That's one thing I've noticed primarily.
Yeah, both of them very timid, very scared to really overextend, over-engage, and with both of them being in such a high position on this card, as well as Brady being high ranked, can't remember Onjay's off the top of my head, these two are going to be very well, they don't want to be losing their rank spot either, and so that's what they want to be keeping. Digging down to that leg though, Brady does, and he's having some success with it, a jab, a teep there following suit, not particularly wanting to engage in the striking. One of the weirdest things about Onjay striking is how just odd it is. It's very simplistic, and it slowly, as time goes on, starts to frustrate you and frustrates you further to the point where you just don't know how to deal with it, and that leads to you just leaving openings around the place here, Reaper.
It does, and his striking is so simplistic, right? But it's also very effective. He's throwing jab straight, move back, double jab straight, and then he's going with the straight to the body. I'm not seeing a lot of hooks here from Oni J caliber, so except for that one. Maybe if RDA was to get his head off the center line, he can maybe get a slip hook.
Just any counter right now. Look, Brady, he's got to move forward. He's got to dictate the way this fight goes, because of RDA. We kind of saw in the Fiziev fight in the real octagon. Fiziev kept moving forward and kept touching him. Right now, Brady, I get what he's going through. He's got a Dustin in front of him. He's trying to work the leg. Right now, he's going to go in round 2, but...
That was a brilliant end. That was a fantastic end to the first round. Little wag of the finger as RDA misses a head kick. As you can see though, as soon as Brady went to move his head off straight line, that lead hook came out and followed by a straight. Digs down to the body up down there as well. And that was definitely Onjay's round. He was dictating the pace. He had full control. And with that, we're going to the second round right here, Reaper.
Yeah, Oni J has looked very, very technical this round, and the last round. But even in this round, I wonder if he's going to look to implement that same game plan, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it, caliber, right? The double jabs are working well. It's definitely getting that block dwindled down. Brady is staying too much in the pocket for my liking right here, caliber. He has a whole octagon behind him. Circle, don't put yourself against the fence, and shoot for the takedown.
Yeah, okay. So you mentioned the pressure. One thing that some guys just can't click, it can't resonate, is that they're either too far forward or too far back. And I feel like Brady, look, he lands right there because he's in the in between right here. He's finally getting moved forward. And Doc, you mentioned Oni's awkward style. I talk about this when we see guys like Skeech and like Oni. If a guy's not playing in the most efficient way, but he plays a little bit different, it's a lot harder to make a read.
Yeah, it's just because you can never really work out what the hell they're going to throw, and that's what Onjay's doing. His combos, he has a set few, but that only works so well. A head kick, he leans into it? What in the world? Questions always throwing about that one, whether he should have won that fight from that, but now he ends up taking down to the mat, does get stunned. Top mount here, looks to go into half guard, back into half guard. Poirier now doing a couple of rabbit punches, trying to build that GA. Does end up into side control here, Caliber. What do you want to see from the man himself, Brady, as he ends up getting denied here?
He's got to get that head kick out of his mind. I don't agree with the submission right here. You're way too far behind on stamina. But Brady's got to get out of his head. Oh my goodness, I should have finished that fight. No, you got the rock. That was good, but he's got to work out a mount. And right now, Oni is landing devastating ground and pound here, Reaper.
He really is. And you know what? If I was Brady, I wouldn't even be against an email of complaint to the EA staff for that, because I believe they may have just screwed him out of a flash KO with that head kick. But you're dead right, Caliber, right? It's the competitive nature. Get it out of your head. You didn't get the knockout. Now you've got to go to your plan B. Doc, you have to reassess the fight as it goes, and you can't dwindle on, damn, maybe that could have done it, and that was my one moment, right? You have to keep going.
I agree, but it's interesting to see Brady get up the feet so quick. If I'm Brady, I'm keeping it down there. I'm getting a bit of a feel, seeing what Andre's bottom game is like there. Not completely disengage and non-full stop there. But, hey, an overhand does land there. The head health for Bardier is a lot lower than Poirier, but Poirier is just having an easy time. Lee took for a suit. Overhand there as well, working. Does clip him, but nothing like the head kick did. Now hoping to do some damage. A jab straight also comes down the middle. It's a jab straight and then mixes up. It's the missed time in the mix up of the jab straights. The uppercut there follows another jab straight, comes straight down. Looking to get the ground and pound finish there. A couple more jab straights, lead hooks there, and the straight finishes the fight off.
One thing I noticed the second Brady stood up, sorry to interrupt, but he looked a little bit just irritated. He was either looking for a big counter with follow-ups after, throwing 4 or 5 piece combinations, and Oni just kept it level, got up, he landed the good shots, and got Brady out of there, Reaper.
You literally took the words out of my mouth, Caliber. That's exactly where I was going with it. He looked frustrated, right? Because you have to think, if you're on the ground and you're in the half guard, you have time to work there, Doc. A lot of time to work, but he wanted to get back to the feet. I think Brady was thinking, okay, I figured this guy out. Double jab straight to the body. If I can slip and I can hook, I'll get the rock. Because his head health was dwindling, but unfortunately for Brady, Oni J does take the win. And Doc, that was a great performance all around.
It was a fantastic performance out. Andre did a brilliant job having a lot of control over that fight. His awkward style just coming out and really paying to just make that very well. Now, up next will be the co-main event of this evening. This has been Fight Night 50, and so far it's gone out with a bang. We've had 2 birthday competitors playing as well, with McGruff and Lepo. Now we get to see how Clover copes fighting the ever mighty BFAB Jakey here tonight.
I'm very interested to see what weight class is this at. I'm sorry.
Your welterweight division.
Welterweight.
Welterweight. I haven't looked at the picks, but my guess is we're probably going to see an Usman and a GSP. I see an Usman. Jakey, if I'm facing Clover, I'm looking to keep him at bay with my straight shots. I'm guessing Clover is going to look for the takedown, which is why these two being matched up are so interesting, because Clover's more low grapple heavy and Jakey has moved towards the striking. So it'll be very interesting to see how these guys match up, Reaper.
Yeah, you know, Jakey, former champion, right? Definitely not a gatekeeper by any means of the word. But Clover there, as you guys can see, 2-0. Probably means nothing, but we're getting an Usman and a GSP pick here. Unfortunately, we don't get a Colby Covington pick, which really upsets me, Doc, but I'll make it work for this fight.
So
Well,
yeah.
Well, yeah, Doc's going to make a cup of tea, Caliber.
I guess doesn't like seeing the 2 meta picks, but honestly, Usman has fallen out of popularity per se. He hasn't been nerfed or anything, but he's very strong. Jakey has to watch the footwork in this matchup. You can get so lost trying to chase GSP here, Reaper.
You really can, and it's the legacy GSP as well, right? It's not even the official UFC GSP. It's the legacy. It's the 5-star pick against the Usman, right? So you're basically going up against the 2 best people in this weight class. GSP back in his prime was an absolute wrestling dominance, and that is a beautiful feint spin into the lead hook. And you know, Caliber, tell me, you've got great wrestling as well as great kickboxing, right? If you're Usman, do you want to take this fight down before GSP takes it down?
Yes. The issue with GSP is that he's not half bad off his back. But yeah, to me, Jakey, he is looking very good on the feet, and he is checking and landing his own low kicks. So there's the takedown by Clover right there. So Jakey knows, okay, this guy wants a takedown. I'm not going to let him get it.
Yeah,
Throw
and
it over the talk now, I think.
The
There's the
toss
takedown.
over there is what you want to be seeing if you're Jakey. The lot of success here does go for the... No ground and pound, interestingly enough. But overall, both of them having massive success so far. Jakey looking a bit cleaner on the feet by the looks of it. Now we get to see on the ground and see how their grappling really shows out here, Reaper.
Yeah, definitely, Doc. And as me and Caliber were saying, you know, the Usman pick would always want to get the fight down before the GSP. As Caliber was saying, you know, GSP isn't too great off his back, but Kamaru is just a dominance on the top, right? So if you're on top in a 3-round fight using Usman, that is something that you're going to have to deal with, Caliber, for 3 rounds, right? That's not going to be just a game plan for now. It's a game plan for a whole entire 15 minutes.
Well, with the way Jakey works, especially watching his fight versus Dave, he loves those takedowns from the clinch. You know, get a guy off balance, go land a knee, toss him over your hip, right? So Clover, he's got to get off of his back, but Jakey is just being kind of pestering him. He's not landing too much. There's the reversal. I'm loving what I'm seeing. He's going to move to sprawl right here. Yep, there it is, Doc.
Now
and he's doing a great job trying to get back to his feet.
Well, one of the more crucial steps, if you're Jakey here, is just to make sure your body doesn't get too worked. Clover is having some success, does pull guard into the half guard now. A minute 15 left on the clock, and the half guard posture up there does get a couple of those hooks landed, and GSP does do quite a lot of damage with 98 ground and pound out there, but he's only landed a couple when Usman has landed his fair share back. Now looking to build that GA, does GSP doing it? He's again, it's pit power shots, it's not much, and especially compared to the striking that Usman landed earlier, just with the general power, you aren't going to win like this.
I'm wondering. I don't think it's his. I don't think it's the pitter patter. I think it's his inability to pass the guard right now. Jakey's being great defensively, knowing this guy's not going to land much from full guard. There's a reversal. He might land a posture up here. There it is. He's going to look for a hook. No, he goes for the straights. Doesn't land much. But if I'm Jakey, I'm very happy with that round. I didn't get lost trying to chase GSP. I landed my low kicks, got in the clinch, and got my takedown. So I'm very interested to see what minute adjustments he makes in round number 2, Reaper.
Yeah, that round for Jakey, right, was all about growing in confidence. You've seen as the round went on, after that hip toss, his confidence went from level 1 to level 10 very quickly. And Doc, I have to throw it to you, because between the 3 of us here in the booth tonight, you're the man with the most wrestling experience, right? Does this kind of fight, knowing that you're going to get to see a lot of dominant wrestling from these 2 men, make it that much better for you, or do you prefer to see 2 wrestlers strike?
I think it's a mixture of both. Like, the best wrestling game is always implemented when you have the striking involved, and that's what you're seeing right now. It's not the case of seeing 2 wrestlers strike, because then it's normally just a bit sloppy. However, to call Jakey only a wrestler these days would be an understatement to his ability. He's a fantastic striker as well. He's got likes of Killer Jakes under his belt. Clover, on the other hand, he started out as a pressure boxer. So he's not really a wrestler at heart. He's a striker through and through. So it's more the case that you've seen 2 strikers, one with a better grappling base, the other more with a pressure boxing base. And these 2 guys are going at it here, Callum.
One thing I noticed, Clover has switched off of that southpaw because of his his right leg's forward. There he sidesteps the cross, lands the body kick. Jakey has Clover kind of. Clover's not using his full work to the best of GSP's abilities. He's not using the side kicks, lead or rear, not landing these Superman punches. He has both of them, Reaper. So I'd love to see Clover kind of spice up his shot selection.
Yeah, he's very boxing heavy right now, right? It's like he wants Usman to come into the pocket, and then he wants to pick Jakey apart in the inside with the inside boxing. But Doc, to throw it to you real quick, when you're using someone like Usman who has power for days, right? He's like so.
Oh.
You have to kind of think, you know, a takedown wouldn't be out of my sorts here.
Yeah, a takedown wouldn't be out of his sorts, and that's exactly what you want if you're someone like Usman here, having massive success, just overall fairly calm, fairly composed. In GSP, as you mentioned, Caliber, that footwork just isn't there, and that's for someone like Dave, for example, just to throw this out. I'm aware he's part of Jakey's camp, so they're going to be fairly in skill level, but his GSP's a lot more footwork. It's a bit more in and outy. It's like he's a bit had too many energy drinks, and I think that's what Clover's missing here. He's just missing that mental part of it. You got a heel kick, which is nice, but you need that mentality of you're not going to always be there. You're going to be in and out like a yo-yo. You're not just going to stand there. And him as a pressure boxer as well, I just don't think GSP was the right pick here, but that's the one he's chosen to go with. Maybe it's the wrestling pick, but so far Jakey's having an easy time working that block, with it now being shot to Kingdom coming back again, and he's just having success in his second round, probably leading into the third here, Caliber.
Well, watch his footwork. You see that black line that's painted? I really don't like being pushed behind that. And Clover's saying the same thing. But if you just plant your feet there, you might as well be on the cage because you're not moving. There's a takedown there late, and Jake, goes for that signature hip toss. But Clover, you have more space, but mentally he's not using it. And going into round 3, he's very behind. My guess is look for submission. Usman's sub defense isn't the best, but I don't know how he'd get the fight there, Reaper.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, is Jakey's doing such a good job of controlling the center, right? And the GSP pick does not like that. Anything that's not the center of the cage, he feels like he's behind the black line. And that's not a good thing, Caliber, because that kind of mentality will unfortunately leave you open to the inside boxing, which right now, with your head held is down so low, Caliber, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, he's just not looking. There's the forearm retreat. I love that if it was, I don't know, minute 2 of the fight. But now you have to go get the finish, and one of these wheel kicks or just an axe kick, it's not going to do much. There's an elbow inside from Jakey. Good head movement defensively. But Jakey is just in the driver's seat. He can do whatever he wants with this fight. He can keep it on the feet. There's the pull elbow or pull uppercut. Doesn't do much due to Usman's chin. There's the side kick late.
Yeah,
Jakey's going to look to finish this fight.
Jakey smelling blood on the horizon. He isn't forcing it. He's fairly calm. He's holding that center in the octagon. He goes to do a big shot there. The straight comes down the middle. Get that block over. Is committed somewhat. The straight lands there. Let his opponent get back up, but he's in the back. He's now against that dreaded cage, and as you can see, a couple of straights into this top man Reaper, and it looks like he's going to get the finish. Only just holding on by the skin of his teeth here.
He does such a great job to survive there, but unfortunately he gets denied here at top mount. And now Jakey, with the stamina, with the confidence, Caliber, he's just going to finish the fight like that.
And I really would have loved to see Clover. If Clover was on, for example, of Vicente Luque, that fight would have played out much differently. Jakey there late, saw that spin kick, knew the feint was coming, banged the right hook, and that's what really started the end of it all. But Jakey, stop calling yourself a gatekeeper, man. You're much more than that, and his performance there showed why, Doc.
Yeah, Jakey just had a massive success there. I feel like half of that was in turn to the Usman, half of that was just because the overall skill level was that much higher. Clover put on a good job. The GSP pick, with his precious striking style, may not have been the best overall, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles here tonight, Reaper.
It is, and you know what? Clover had a very good representation of himself in that fight, right? GSP pick, as Caliber pointed out, maybe not the way to go. I personally would have went maybe, as he said, Vicente Luque, maybe even a Conor McGregor, right? But if you're looking to put power on Usman and dwindle down his chin, and I probably would have went with more of a kickboxing style, Caliber.
Yeah, but there's only so much you can do, especially if you're not going to utilize GSP's footwork. But Jakey did very well. Shut down the primary game of GSP, that being that signature blast double, and just pumped his jab. He did use his kicks very well. For him being Usman, he was out kicking GSP. It's very nice to see. So now we have our main event up next, Doc. And what can you tell me about these two?
It's time. This will be Smudger versus SKA Storm. Reaper, part of the STK Storm camp, so I'll let him lead Storm in. Smudger is a former title challenger, only just losing to Leon Stolz in a very closely contested flyweight matchup. This matchup, though, will be in the featherweight division, as we saw earlier. It's going to be a McGregor versus Volk matchup, as just presented to you by the poster. These two fighters are notorious in their own right. Smudger is a striker, can grapple, but he's the guy picking McGregor. Storm, on the other hand, is Volkanovski Reaper.
Yeah, and you know, Storm, as of late, from what I've seen in terms of league fights and spars, Storm at the minute is operating on an entirely different level. As you said there, Doc, the STK camp, newly named as the Showtime Killers, former known as the Michigan Maulers. We had a debate, we had a vote, we changed the name of the camp, we got ourselves a whole new logo. But coming into this fight, as I said at the start of the show, guys, it's literally a striker versus a grappler. Storm needs one denial. If he gets one single denial, he will wrap up an arm, he will wrap up a choke, Caliber. He's a very dangerous fighter, but the consensus here is if Smudger keeps it on the feet, we stay in his world. Storm takes it to the ground, Caliber, we go to his world. So it's a mesh of styles. I can't wait to see it.
Well, Smudger's got to be very careful versus this Volkanovski pick. Even though he is on Connor, you do not know how fast you end up being. Okay, I'm landing on this guy, and then he's landed back, and all of a sudden, where'd my stamina go? Because you're missing him so much. Volk's footwork is very high. I'm very interested in how Storm uses it, kind of like a GSP of the featherweight division, if you will. Just how fast he is, Doc.
Yeah, he's fast. He doesn't have the side kick stand out, make him just that one bit better. However, he does have a 5-star lead leg kick, so you've got to be wary of that in all of its manners. Again, both of these guys engage in like utter nutcases. So far, McGregor having a bit more success, though. Volkanovski's trying to find holes for his shots, but he's having a bit of difficulty with the defense. A clinch attempt there, though, does land over the top. Probably going to be looking to shoot a takedown. I hope these guys do know they've got 5 rounds to work, but I feel like we're going to barely see 2 at the rate they're going.
I don't know if these guys know if it's only 5 minutes, because they are just on pace to probably use their stamina here in 5 minutes. I would love to see Volk slow it down. Connor's going to be gassed after 10. So I'd love to see Volk utilize the kicks. He's not shot a takedown yet. He did clinch, which I do love seeing, especially off the blocked teep right there. But he needs to slow it down, Reaper.
He does. You know, Storm's always going to be here for 25 minutes with the newly buffed Volkanovski pick. And it's the one thing I always tell Storm. You're in the main event. You have 5 rounds. You're coming up against a McGregor pick. He will dwindle in stamina. Use your movement, use your footwork. You got to sim Volkanovski here. You don't got to fight like it's Mayweather versus McGregor and you're in a tiny boxing ring and you're pocket fighting. Use your footwork, Doc, and you will be victorious in this fight. Make him miss.
Well, speaking of boxing, this is an MMA match. Shoot a takedown. And that's what we've been calling from Storm. That's what we hyped Storm up to be. But it's going to be a bit odd if he doesn't shoot a takedown and win maybe in the next minute or so, just to really put it out there, get a feel for the takedown. Lovely head kick there. Does get slipped off to the side though, so it reduces damage. Body shot also follows suit. Both their overall stamp very similar. It does look like both of them in terms of head tail are also fairly even here. Caliber and we're a minute 20 left on the clock. It seems like neither of them are really letting go, really pushing each other's pace too much further now.
Well, some guys get it in their head, I'm going to knock this guy out, man. And they go out there with their not super striking picks. You know, Volk's still very good on the feet. But no takedown, like you mentioned, that might just be due to the bad blood here. He doesn't want to take him down. He doesn't want to see that as a weakness in his game. It's not a weakness, just adjusting the fight. But 30 seconds left, no takedown attempt. The only grappling exchange was a clinch and a little hook over the top. There's a spinning elbow that I did not know Volk had. So there's a front kick up the middle there, Reaper. Storm's turning on here late in the round, but Smudger probably stole it.
I am internally screaming. I am internally screaming at Storm. Get out of your head. Let go of your pride. Take this man down, man. You are in a primetime main event using a buffed Volkanovski. Do not stand there with a informed Conor McGregor. Take him down, Storm. If you can hear me, Jesus Christ, take him down. Caliber, to you.
Agreed. Look, I get it, man. You're in this main event spot. You want to put on as good as performance as you can, and that would end in a finish in some people's minds. But to me, the best performance you can get is a dominant 50-45. But right now, Storm, there's the takedown. Doesn't turn it because Smudger was that alert on it. He's got to figure out a way to kind of get sneaky, right? Land a shot, then look, maybe feint the takedown a little bit, Doc. But right now, Storm is just a step behind.
Only a handful of people are put into this ever prominent position of the main event. This is your time to shine, and you don't have to shine by just striking them. You can shine by grappling, and maybe that's what Storm needs to remember that he can do. Out grappling your opponents even more impressive. See, the likes of Dirty Dave and yourself, Caliber, is grappling, but so far, to be fair, the striking isn't going too badly. It's just a case, it's fucking McGregor you're trying to strike against.
It's that, and some guys just they do a little bit worse on their takedown selection. We talk about shot selection. The takedown selection is very important too. If you sit there, shoot singles and doubles for an entire round, your stamina is going to be depleted. I am loving Storm. He is trading with Conor, which will eventually come back to bite him. But if he can catch Smudger and just kind of like an in-between, like that head kick right there, he can get a rock. There's the takedown. Smudger denies it, but shoot again right here. You have the stamina advantage. Doesn't go for it there. But 2 minutes left. There's the rock on the Trade Reaper, and Storm's got to find something that works.
I have my eyes closed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm terrified. I get more nervous watching my campmates fight than me fighting.
Oh,
you know, and
Jesus.
my heart is breaking for Storm because I know the one thing that he didn't want to do was get caught. And he's overthrowing right now. And if I was to call this fight unbiased...
Oh, this is what Smudger does, though. Smudger finds that hole, he exploits it, and he just goes deeper and deeper until you're unconscious. And that's what Smudger's like. McGregor doing a fantastic job there, getting the uppercut and then getting the finish there, Caliber.
And Smudger stuck to, unlike Storm right there, I'm sorry to say, Reaper, he stuck to his game plan. He kept it clean, landed the straight, landed the hook, and right there, beautiful uppercut that done it. I think Storm just got caught. He started striking and then realized, okay, I need to take down. By then, Smudger knew what was coming. Smudger knew, okay, I'm gonna get this guy off my legs. I'm gonna get him off me, and I'm gonna hunt for the knockout there late in round number 2, and he did get it done.
You got it.
The one, sorry to cut you off there, Doc, but really quick. The one thing I always tell Storm is you are a grappler at heart. I have seen you compete as a solid grappler. When you take someone down,
He's
and you
made
take them
someone
down
rage
early,
quit whilst trying to grapple.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, because the way Smudger was pushing, but I realized when Smudger was behind the black line, very limited that he was. When he was only holding high block. Storm could have got a clinch, pushed him toward the cage, and worked from there. I know Storm will be kicking himself over that performance, but against Smudger, it's a hard fight, Doc. And you know what? You'll go back stronger again. You will. You'll always come back stronger. You learn from your mistakes. You'll come back stronger.
You adapt, you adjust, you appreciate your previous performances, and you learn from them. Especially true for the limited amount of people who've been in that main event. Each one of them who come back stronger and stronger each time. But with that, on this one hell of a card and an establishment for saying it's Fight Night 50, Caliber, this has been prime time. We will be back on tomorrow, in fact, with Caliber versus Dirty Dave in the main event at featherweight, if I'm not mistaken, Caliber.
Yeah, it's at featherweight, but importantly, card starts at 7 due to the actual UFC card, main card starting early. So make sure you kind of keep alert. We'll watch Curtis Blades versus Tom Aspinall tomorrow, and then prime time will come very soon after. It's going to be a great card.
Just for clarification, that'll be 7 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. BST. Watch out, and that'll be tomorrow night. Main event of Dirty Dave, co-main event. Main event of Dirty Dave versus KM Caliber. Co-main event of BFAP Trixie versus ICB The Pug. But with all that, stick around for the possible raid at the end, and have a good night.